Hi, my name is Angie B. And today we're going to talk about self-care and positive self-talk. My channel will help Black women over 50 that have entered the life of widowhood. I want us to form a community of like-minded people with the common bond of widowhood and work together to succeed in our new normal. My goal is to help at least one woman to be able to manage her grief and have some happiness, some smiles, and some joy. I will share my personal 8 years of experience rediscovering myself and how to manage grief to joy. If this sounds like something that you may be interested in, I would like to invite you to click like, click comment, share, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on so that the next time I do a live video or post a video, you will be in the community to hear. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so what I want to talk about self-care is people often underestimate how positive self-talk impacts our mental and our emotional state. Self-talk is something we do already. We do it naturally. We do it all the time. It's a powerful tool. It helps to increase our confidence. It motivates us, and it curbs the negativity. So what I have done is I try to do certain things in the morning when I wake up. For example, when I first get up, I sit and drink a hot cup of lemon water. This kind of helps to kind of calm me down so that I'm not jumping up out of the bed and, running right out the door with a coffee cup in my hand. So this kind of helps to kind of calm me down. And I don't watch or look at my phone too much when I first wake up, to just kind of give myself some chill time before, heading out and into all of the, the world things that are going on. After I have my hot lemon water, then usually what I do is I go walk my dog. They do recommend that if you walk 10 to 15, 20 minutes a day, they say that helps with grief as well, because you're getting exercise, you're kind of going into a new environment. It may be that you may see nature, you may see mountains, you may see water, depending on where you live. But just going outside, breathing in the fresh air, that just really, really helps. So I have a dog. So I usually walk 3 times a day, and we walk anywhere from 20 minutes, 25 minutes to 45 minutes each time we walk. So I get quite a bit of exercise, which they recommend. That helps with grief. So what I would urge you to do is to find something that makes you feel centered so that you can kind of create a routine around that. When I come back in from walking the dog, then usually I try to have a healthy breakfast along with a cup of coffee, and I take my time and relax. And again, not running out the door with my cup of coffee or just grabbing a bite to eat and running out the door. I try to sit and relax and, eat my healthy breakfast. Another thing that I have done is while I'm walking the dog, I usually have my earbuds in, and I like listening to gospel music. So that kind of helps me to calm down, just kind of get me settled, listening to gospel music. So that's what I do. You can use meditation music if you like, or you can use happy songs if you like. And then once I complete that, usually what I do is I come back in and I either do gratitude journaling, or I just try to think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. So those 3 things could be something as simple as I'm grateful for my children. I'm grateful for my grandchildren. It could be that I'm grateful that I'm here and that I'm healthy and that I'm being able to put one foot in front of the other. Sometimes people will pray during this time as well. It just depends on you. And again, you have to figure out and create your own way of what calms you. Another thing that they advise that you do for self-care is pick up a hobby. I used to love to read, but since I'm gonna say in the first couple of years after my husband passed, I could not read. If I picked up a book to read, I would just read like two sentences over and over again. Wouldn't have a clue what I just read. So I finally put that down. It has gotten better for me now, so I can pick up a book and curl up on the couch and I can read. But something else that I did right after is I started doing puzzles. And that was very relaxing to me because I could sit for hours and just work on puzzles, which was really nice. I've also picked up crocheting, which that's something else that's calming to me that I can do. And I also picked up some adult coloring books where I can color in those books, and that kind of keeps me calm as well. So I've found several different things that I like to do because I'm just really not a TV watcher. So I had to kind of find some other things that I enjoy doing. Another thing that I really love to do is I love to travel. And one of the things that helped me with is when I traveled, I was changing my environment. So that made things easier for me. It didn't make me dwell on the fact that my husband was gone, and I could relax. So traveling really helped me. And here recently, I've learned how to travel as a solo traveler. I recently went on a trip into the mountains. I took my dog and we drove up. It was only a couple hours away. And we spent time at the lake up in the mountains. And that was really enjoyable for me as well. So, what they say is that there are 5 pillars of self care. It's a well balanced self care routine, involves each of these for every area of your life. And the 5 categories is mental, emotional, physical, social, and spiritual. Those are the 5 categories. Okay, now I want to cover a few other tips that I ran across and different things that I did. At the beginning, I call it my fog, where I couldn't really think right. You know, it was like my mind was in a fog. And so I call it my fog. And normally when someone passes away, you'll have people that'll come over, they'll bring food, and that usually maybe happens for the first three weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. I'm going to say that happens. And sometimes people will say, what can I do to help? And at the time, because you're in the fog, you really can't think and you really don't know what to ask for, what to say. Can you do this? That would help me. You really don't know. So one suggestion is you can have a particular person make a list for you. And that list would be a helpful list where if it was something that you had to make a major decision on. So say, for example, the plumbing went out. You were in a house and the plumbing went out. Now you got to try to look on the internet. You got to try to figure out, who do I call? What do I do? Well, if you have someone create a list for you for anything that you may need for the house, such as a plumber, somebody to do snow removal, somebody to mow the lawn, maybe the furnace, if somebody needs to work on your furnace or your air condition. And what they're going to do on that list is they're going to say plumber Joe Blow, and then they're going to give Joe Blow's number. So it'll be a quick list for you that you can put it on your refrigerator. And then if you have any kind of problem, you can go get that list. It's readily available, and it'll kind of help you to be able to handle whatever that particular situation is. I can remember I came outside and my car was dirty. You wouldn't think that would be a trigger, but it was because my husband kept my car washed and gassed all the time. So when I came outside and my car was dirty, it just triggered me. And I was really, really upset. And so something as simple as that, you wouldn't think that it would cause a trigger, but it does. Something else that caused a trigger for me was when I had to change my emergency contact person at work, when I had to change my beneficiary at work. Another time I was filling out a form for something and it only had single or married. And I couldn't figure out which one to mark. So things that you don't think would cause you triggers could possibly cause triggers and sadness. What do you do at that moment? You try to sit down, you try to use maybe some of your techniques that you found that center you. For me, like I said, I would probably put my earbuds in, listen to some gospel music to kind of chill me. I could maybe start with some gratitude things, name 3 things that I'm grateful for, and that would calm me down to where I can start again. So if you can just figure out ways to just kind of calm you and then just start again. Give yourself some grace. Be kind to yourself, just like you would if it was a friend. These things happen right after the death of a loved one. There is no time frame. There is no map as to like a roadmap as to what you need to follow. There's no time limit. It's how you feel. Calm yourself down and then start again. Another thing is holidays are coming up. So with the holidays coming up, people may invite you over for Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner. You can accept, but you can say, today I feel like maybe I can come, but make sure that they know that if you can't come, to understand, and not to take it personal, right? And maybe they'll just bring you a plate or something because they understand that you're just still going through the grief process. And it can be very difficult. If you feel like you can't go, don't go just to please others. If you feel like you can't go, then don't go. You have to do what's best for you at that time. You have to do you, basically. You have to learn yourself. What things can you do that are positive to help you calm down? If you feel that a task overwhelms you, this is where you can write that task down. You may not want to deal with it right then and there, but if you have a piece of paper handy, I always got notes everywhere. I'll write it down at that moment. And then when I'm maybe a little bit calmer and I feel like I can handle it, then maybe I can go back and handle it at that time. Like taxes, for example, I always did our taxes, but after my husband passed, I couldn't think because of the fog, widow brain. I couldn't think how to complete my taxes. So I had to find someone that could do that for me. Now, that's another thing that maybe you can even ask the person that offered, what else could they do for you? Maybe help you find someone to do simple things around the house, like housekeeping type of things, grocery shopping, even laundry. Maybe they can help you find someone that can help you with those types of things. Now, something like financials, that might be a little bit more personal, and you might decide that's something that you want to take care of yourself, and you can just put it to the side until it's something that you can handle. Something like going through your loved one's clothes and maybe computers and their other items. You may not feel like that. So again, you have to give yourself grace and do it on your terms when you're ready and when you can handle it. Again, there's no roadmap, there's no time frame. You don't have to do it by a certain time. If you can't do it, then just don't do it. Making decisions are harder after the death of your husband. So that's another thing. You have to take it easy. You have to take it slow. You have to do it at your own pace and your own time frame. However you express your grief is uniquely you. You don't have to abide by any social norms. It's whatever you feel like doing. There's really no wrong or no right. I do want to give you a number because if you think that you need help, reach out to your doctor. You can reach out to grief counselors. That's what they're there for. That's what they handle all the time. They talk to people all the time with grief. Grief can, it can make life a really dark place for you. So if you're struggling with it and you have trouble with it, reach out to get help for it. If you need to reach out to the National Suicide Hotline, that number is 800-273-8255. Always just look for people that encourage you or can help you along your journey. I think I mentioned to you on the last video about group counseling, grief group counseling, and where you can find that is at the local hospital. Sometimes libraries have them. Sometimes you can just go to grief counselors as an individual or in a group setting. There is something online called Grief Share that you also can try. I did try the online one. It didn't work for me, but I did try the one at the local hospital through their hospice program. And that worked out better for me, I guess, because it was in person. And it helped me to see that I wasn't by myself. There were other people going through the same things that I was going through, the same emotions, the same feelings. You can also check with your church. That's another place where you could possibly find help with going through the grief process. Now, if we can talk just a couple of minutes about positive self-talk, people don't realize, how much we talk to ourselves over and over again. So try to stay away from negative things. I really don't watch the news because to me it is negative. So I try to feed myself with positive energy so that I will have positive self-talk. If these are things that you think that you may like, this is the type of conversation that I have on my channel. I would ask you or invite you to click on like, share, comment, subscribe, and also hit that notification bell. So I want to thank you for coming and listening to me tonight, and I hope that you have a good evening. God bless.